It's Angela Critters. We're making a trifle today, and we're using brownies that I just made, and we're going to make poke brownies. We're going to put them back in the oven. I'm using the bottom of a chopstick to poke my holes. Okay, so we are going to pour coffee over this, let it soak through. And it won't taste like coffee. It just brings out the chocolate. And then we're going to pour some sweetened condensed milk over that. And we're going to put it back in the oven for a few minutes. I took my brownies out about 2 minutes before they would have been cooked. And I also had added chocolate chips to the top of my brownies while they were baking, for a little extra flavor. All right, so let's throw this back in. Here we go. So that was some coffee that I made with a can of sweetened condensed milk, and it's going back into the hot 350 oven. So I've got my pretty trifle dish. And if you don't have something like this, you can just use something like a clear glass mixing bowl to layer. And we're going to be layering some Dream Whip with some chocolate pudding, Heath Bar Bits, the brownies, and some chocolate chips. We're just going to layer as we go. Okay, the cake is cooling enough that we can put it in the glass containers. And I've made some vanilla pudding. I've made chocolate pudding. And a package of Dream Whip with milk and vanilla. These are our 3 liquids that are soft puddings that we're going to be using. And we're going to be putting Heath Bar Bits on, along with some chocolate chips. And we're using Dream Whip. I love Dream Whip. And of course, my puddings were instant. All right, so first we're going to put some vanilla pudding on the bottom. We're going to layer our colors. All right, we're going to slide the brownie on. See, I've got my vanilla pudding. And we're going to use a spatula and spread the brownie out. My kids loved these when they were little. They always thought it was something really special. I never let them know how easy it really was. All right, so now we're going to put some Dream Whip on top of that, and then chocolate pudding on top of the Dream Whip. But first, I'm going to start adding something crunchy. We're going to throw some Heath Bar Bits on it to be crunchy. And you always make sure that you either have chocolate chips or the Heath Bar Bits at the very last layer on top. These are just fun, but they're really good for a dessert if you're having company or just you want to impress your family. All right, then we're going to put a little bit of chocolate pudding on. So in our little pudding cups, we've got the chocolate pudding, the brownie, and the vanilla pudding. I forgot to put my chocolate chips on that one. Hold on. Heath Bar Bits. They're my favorite part, the Heath Bar Bits. And then you just repeat your layers. I just alternate the colors. All right, we've been layering this one. I've got chocolate pudding, vanilla pudding, brickle bits. Then I just put another layer of Dream Whip. And put some more brickle bits. You get the general idea. Look, I did a real good layer this time. And I'm going to put some in my little dessert cups. I just put a real big brownie on top. The sweetened condensed milk and the coffee poured over the brownies made them really rich and gooey, which is what I wanted. We're going to finish off with some whipped topping. Of course, you can use Cool Whip. And I don't care how these look. These are just for the family. But you can take the time to swirl and do all kinds of little pretty things with chocolate shavings if you want. Or you could chop up your chips and make them into mini chips. But you cannot beat a trifle. Now, let's pretend like I filled this whole thing up instead of making the two little small ones. Because I would have filled up the entire container if I hadn't made these. Now you can see how if I hadn't made the two dessert ones, it would have definitely filled up. And then you're going to chill for at least 4 hours. Well, it's the next day, and it doesn't look very good, but it sure does taste good. My husband had his last night, and it was delicious. You can make a prettier one. When I was younger, mine looked like something out of a restaurant, but as I've gotten older, my hands don't work that good. But it's all about how it tastes. That brownie is so good. And I should have doubled my Dream Whip. I should have used 2 packages. Try a trifle. You'll love them. And you don't have to have fancy dishes. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, I'll put the real quick ingredients, how I made it. It's real fun to make this with kids. Bye-bye. Oh, hold on. It's a keeper.